So in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys some healthy dessert recipes that are easy to make. They're all gluten-free recipes and the perfect healthy dessert ideas. So first off, we are making some raw fudge brownies. These are so good. They are no bake, plus they are plant-based, gluten-free, grain-free, dairy-free, and all that. So I'm adding in my wet ingredients of my almond flour and my cacao powder. And to that, I'm adding nut butter. You can use whatever kind of nut butter that you like, as well as some vanilla. And then we are going to add in some maple syrup for some sweetness, but you can also substitute this for any liquid sweetener that you like honey. So we're adding that into our bowl, and then we are going to be stirring that together until everything is nice and combined. And this is what is going to make the basis of our brownies. As you can see, it's really easy to make, only a few simple ingredients. I'm going to add in some chocolate chips, but this is optional, and we're going to fold that in until all of them are nice and combined. Now the batter is quite thick because it is a raw fudgy brownie, so we're going to be putting that in a pan that is an 8x8 pan lined with some parchment paper, and I'm going to press that down until it is about ½ an inch thick. So go ahead and press that down into your pan until it covers all of the corners. And once you gently press it down into all of the corners, we're going to pop it in the freezer for 20 minutes just to harden a bit. While the brownies are hardening, we can go ahead and make our ganache topping. So I am combining some coconut oil as well as some cacao powder and some vanilla into a double broiler. And what this is going to do is this is going to melt together along with some maple syrup, and it's going to make a nice frosting. It's super easy to make, and you probably already have the ingredients lying around from the brownies in the first place. So once that is nice and smooth, you're going to be adding in some coconut milk to it, and then you're going to pour that on top of your brownies. And so as you can see, this nice thick frosting layer, we're just going to spread on top of the brownies until everything is nice and smooth. And what I love about this ganache is that it is super decadent, but it's made with simple ingredients. You just spread that out over the top of your cooled brownies, and then we are just going to place that back in the fridge to set. You could also put it in the freezer, but I recommend putting it back in the fridge to set so that the chocolate ganache topping doesn't get hard and it stays more like a frosting. And of course, all the measurements for everything will be left in the description box below, so you guys can easily just look at that and then make your recipes. So after about 10-20 minutes back in there, you can go ahead, pop it out of your dish, and we're going to start by slicing them. Now you definitely want to be storing these in the fridge after, because they are going to be a little bit heat sensitive, especially the frosting on top. But this makes honestly such a decadent raw fudge brownie. I first had a fudge brownie at a local coffee shop, and once I did, I knew I could make this at home. You guys know I am the queen of healthy desserts, so I definitely made one that I think is even better than the one I had at the cafe. And like I said, it's raw, it's plant-based, gluten-free, grain-free, dairy-free, but so fudgy and delicious. It's going to be your new favorite brownie recipe. Next up, we are making some deep dish chocolate chip cookies, but this time, instead of making my normal giant skillet, we are going to make individual ramekins for two. So this recipe will make 2 ramekins, kind of one for each person or 2 for you in different settings. So I'm going to take some nut butter. I'm using some almond butter, and then we're going to take some maple syrup for a little bit of sweetness, and we're going to add that into a bowl. To that, I'm going to also add in some nut milk. You can use whatever kind of nut milk that you like, as well as a little bit of vanilla, and then we are going to stir that together until everything is nice and smooth and combined. And this is what is going to make up the wet ingredients of our mini deep dish skillet cookies. So stir that together, then add in some almond flour. I'm also going to be adding in some baking powder to help with the texture, and we are going to fold those 2 ingredients into our wet ingredients until everything is nice and combined. Then I'm adding in some chocolate chips. I like to use some sugar-free, dairy-free ones and toss those in. And then I'm lining a couple ramekins with just some avocado oil so that nothing sticks, and I'm scooping out the batter, just making it even between the 2. It's going to fill it probably about to the first line, as you see here. You do not want to overfill them, so just making sure that they're not too filled. And then I am going to be putting a little bit of chocolate chips on those, placing them in the oven. And once you bake them off for about 12 to 14 minutes, then they will be nice and cooked. You have these mini skillet cookies, and I'm just finishing them off with a little bit of this dairy-free vegan ice cream. You got the cool ice cream that's creamy with the warm deep dish chocolate chip cookie. Honestly, such a good dessert, and I like how it's like a single serving. It's individual. It's so yum. And then we are making these strawberry cheesecake roll-ups. Wanted something with fruit. Also love cheesecake, but wanted a simple dessert. So I had a couple of these leftover siete tortillas. These are grain-free and I love them. And we're just going to be spreading some cream cheese onto the tortilla. And this is what's going to give it like that cheesecake feel. And once we warm the cream cheese with the strawberries, it's going to be extra good. So then I sliced up a couple strawberries and I'm laying that down kind of like how you would roll up a taquito in a tortilla. You're just going to put some strawberries down and then kind of roll it into like a mini taquito burrito type of thing. So just rolling each of those up until you get small little roll-ups. And then we're going to place them down to a pan on medium-high heat until they start to get golden and cooked. And there you go. You have the little, roll-ups, whatever we want to call them, but the cheesecake kind of feel with the strawberry. It's fruity. You get a roll-up. It's satisfying. It's yummy. And it totally feels more decadent than it is.